Vince, man, it's good to hear from you. Listen, I'm really proud of you, what you're doing in Youngstown, Ohio. I think it's great. And I really appreciate all you've done for me in the last couple of years, leaving Temple Timeout in my hands. And I really appreciate you leaving me your anchor position. And I really wonder who Bree picked.
Bree, I miss you so much. I hope you're having an awesome time at the Page program in New York. Man, I just can't wait to find out who you picked for me to be the next anchor.
You know, it's funny, actually. Temple lost to Buffalo last Saturday in the football game, and it took a lot of people by surprise, and that's definitely going to be a main talking point on the new show.
I can't imagine that we're going to be talking about anything other than Geoff Collins coming back to Temple, taking on his old team. It's going to be awesome. Georgia Tech, Temple. And
you know, there's a new segment on this semester, Stein's Lines, where I'm going to be breaking down a lot of the American Football Conference's football games this weekend to see what I think.
And what about that volleyball team? Starts off 9-0, lost 2, but that's okay. They're on fire. I can't wait to talk about them.
I really want to know who Bree picked to be the other anchor.
I wonder who Vince picked to be the other anchor.
Yo, Adam.
Yo, what's going on, Brian? How you doing?
Good.
Hold on, there we go.
I thought he'd go to Temple Timeout. Vince picked me as one of his replacements.
Oh, no way. Bree picked me to be her replacement.
Oh, Bree picked you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome, dude.
Yo, let's go do it.
All right, man. But first, let's take a timeout. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another semester of your favorite Temple Sports webisode. I'm Brian Steinmetz alongside a brand new anchor, Adam Miller, and it's great to have you behind desk.
Hey, thanks, Brian. I'm all juiced up for this new season at Temple Timeout.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a great season, and I already have a good feeling about how we're going to start, but we need to make sure we stay on top of our game.
Yeah, Brian, we don't want to do a Temple football and overlook anything.
Yeah, I get your frustration there, Adam. After beating 21-ranked Maryland, they dropped a head-scratcher against Buffalo, who were 1-2.
A head-scratcher is right. I can't help but think the Owls may have overlooked the Bulls, who previously lost to Liberty a week earlier, but let's take a look at that game. Here's Rod, Carey, and crew, and he's getting ready for the game. They came off with a hot start with Anthony Russo finding Isaiah Wright early. Now, Isaiah Wright has now scored in all 3 games this year.
Yeah, but Adam, that's about the only thing that went right for the Owls that afternoon. As from that point on, Buffalo really dominated in all aspects, especially the run game. Jared Patterson rushed for over 130 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, when you couple that with the very uncharacteristic game of Anthony Russo, it's a recipe for disaster, Brian. Owls lose 38-22.
Yeah, just like you said, an uncharacteristic game from Russo, as in weeks 1 and 2. He looked like one of the top-tier quarterbacks in Division I football, but with this performance against Buffalo, I'm not sure if people still feel that way.
You know, I'm not ready to write Russo off just yet, but man, it was a tough game for the second-year quarterback. In his first 2 games of the season, he completed 65% of his passes and threw just 2 interceptions. But now you fast forward to Buffalo, and he only completed 49% of his passes and tossed 3 interceptions. Brian, that's not what you want from your quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, some have said that maybe Temple was looking forward too much to their matchup against their former head coach, Geoff Collins. And now at Georgia Tech, Collins has his team at 1-2 with losses coming from the nation's best Clemson Tigers and a home overtime loss against the Citadel.
Yeah, Collins leaving definitely took a lot of Philadelphians by surprise, but I'm not sure that's the biggest question. The biggest question is, what did the players think? Carlton Obeso got the answer at Edinburgh Olsen Hall.
And the thing that I shared with them is it was heart-wrenching today, telling a group of men that I love so deeply and care about with all of my heart that we were leaving.
Just last year, the Owls were primed for a new identity. But as many know in college football, things can change in the blink of an eye. Former Owls head coach Geoff Collins returns to familiar grounds with an anticipated matchup this weekend. After leaving last summer for a role in his hometown Georgia Tech, following 2 seasons as the Owls head coach, many wondered how would some of his former Temple players react to him in his return to Lincoln Financial Field.
What are your thoughts about facing Geoff Collins?
I'm extremely excited. This is one of the games I have marked on my calendar for a long, long time now.
And definitely adds a little fuel to the fire for some of the guys. You know, your former coach left after, he told us he was never leaving, so it's like, we get to see you again now.
While Collins' tenure on Broad was short-lived, there's a new leader in town, and Temple is pleased with the team they have moving forward in their young season.
But, it's all love, no hate at all, no bad feelings, but we just got to come out there and worry about us.
I think that, it'll be cool to be on the same field as those guys again, but, we have our coaching staff here, and we love them, and we won't want to play for anybody else, so we're happy with what we have.
Reporting for Temple Update, I'm Carl Tianabesso.
Yeah, I don't know, Brian. They're saying there's no bad blood, but this feels like it might be a little personal.
Yeah, I mean, listen, as a former player, every game is personal. You're scratching and clawing to get the victory no matter who's on the other sideline. But I think this one might be a little different for the Owls, especially after Collins' quick departure, and especially how close he was with everyone in the organization. I mean, personally, I was sad to see him go. I really loved what he brought to Temple, and I don't know, Adam, what are your thoughts?
I know it would add a little fuel to my fire if I were on the sidelines, but hey, Temple can't be too upset when they have Rod Carey running the show from their sidelines. The game starts at 3:30 at the Link on Saturday. Be sure to get your tickets, grab your popcorn, because it's about to be a movie. Yeah, speaking of a movie, the women's volleyball team is having a storybook type of season to start their year. And the team started off the year winning hot, 9 straight games. But be warned, though, because the Owls are hitting a bit of a rough patch, losing their last 2 home games. Adam, are you worried that this movie might have already hit its climax? Not at all, Stein, and this is why. The team has a point differential of 28-8 and has posted 8 shutouts on the way. Listen, every team hits a bump in the road sooner or later, and I'm sure the ladies will find a way to turn it around. Now, Stein, I'm hoping you can help turn around some of my bets on these AAC games. This year, we're introducing a new segment called Stein's Lines, where Brian's going to be giving you all the over-unders and lines of some of the AAC matchups. Brian, take it away, man.
So we have Navy and Memphis up first. Memphis is minus 10.5 at home, and I actually like that a lot because Navy has a couple games early in the season, not really good opponents, so I think they'll easily take that. And I'll take the under in that game, 54. Georgia Tech at Temple. Temple's minus 9 in that, and I love that. Temple at home, favored by 9 points, and I think Temple's a revenge game for Temple, and I'll take the over. UConn at UCF. Wow, 43.5 point favorites for UCF. And I'm definitely going to take that because, as we all know, UConn they're just not that good at football. So I'm taking the under in that as well because I think that UConn is not going to score that many points. SMU at USF. I like SMU on the road, 7.5 point favorites, and I like the over there. And finally, we have Cincinnati minus 3.5 at Marshall, but I like the Thundering Herd at home, and I'll take the over in that matchup.
Thanks, Brian, but I think I might wait a week or two before I start trusting you on some of these lines. I got to see how you do first. But one thing you can bet on is seeing a lot of Temple sports this week. After the football team takes on Georgia Tech, they have a quick turnaround before they are back in action against ECU on Thursday. The volleyball team is looking at an AAC matchup this week against UCF. The men's soccer team is going up against Old Dominion Tuesday, and the women's team is going up against ECU on Sunday. Also on Saturday, the Fireworks field hockey team is playing Penn. Whew, Brian, man, I'm winded.
Yeah, there's a lot of action going on this weekend for Temple Sports. But as for us, that's all we have today. We are fresh out of timeouts.
Be sure to follow us on all our social media at TU_SportsDesk and our mother station at Temple Update.
And thanks so much for tuning in. We'll be back here same time and same place next week. For everyone behind the camera, for Carl Tianabesso and for Adam Miller, I'm Brian Steinmetz. Enjoy the weekend.